Today is September 18th. It's the 262nd day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers is formed on this day in 1998, better known as ICANN, ICANN. The organization is a non-profit responsible for coordinating all of the unique Internet addresses across the world. ICANN's headquarters is based in Playa Vista on the west side of Los Angeles, California, but really it's a global community of participants working to support ICANN's vision of one world, one Internet. ICANN not only coordinates Internet addresses, the .coms, .orgs, .goofball, and if that's not a domain yet, I'm setting that one up. More specifically, they do a whole mess of stuff that I don't understand. Stuff and things like coordinating the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority functions, which are services critical to the operation of the Internet's address book, domain name system, DNS. Also, the coordination of the assignment of technical protocol parameters, including the management of the address and routing parameter area top-level domain, Internet DNS root zone management, and the allocation of Internet numbering resources. It's all just friendly ones and zeros to me. ICANN performs all of these functions under a contract with the U.S. government. Before ICANN, a gentleman named John Postal, an ARPANET researcher in Marina del Rey, California, he does all of that. But as the Internet expands, the U.S. Department of Commerce gets involved and proposes the creation of a private, not-for-profit organization to handle the growing management needs of Internet names and addresses. That organization is ICANN, which is formed on this day in 1998. ICANN is purely a technical organization set up to administer the management of the Internet. Its bylaws prohibit it from regulating the content of the Internet. ICANN's contract with the U.S. government expires at the end of September 2016. The organization spends the year 2016 transitioning into a multi-stakeholder system that they believe makes the Internet more accountable to users around the world. According to ICANN, formed on this day in 1998, quote, "After the transition, ICANN will have no mandate, need, or reason to seek to be overseen by another governmental or intergovernmental group for protection. The Department of Commerce's National Telecommunications and Information Administration also would not allow the transition to occur if ICANN were to replace the role of the U.S. government with another government or intergovernmental organization." Born on this day in 1819, Jean-Bernard Léon Foucault, French physicist and academic, best known for his discovery of eddy currents, his measurement of the speed of light, and mostly for the device he creates to demonstrate the effect of the Earth's rotation, the Foucault pendulum. Foucault is born in Paris. His first area of interest for study is medicine, but the sight of blood scares him, so he shifts his focus to physics. In 1851, he devises a method to demonstrate the Earth's rotation, which he sets up first at the Paris Observatory, and then a few weeks later in the Pantheon in Paris. Foucault hangs a 62-pound brass-coated lead bob, a weight with a pointed tip, on a 220-foot-long wire from the dome of the Pantheon. He sets the pendulum swinging over a pit of wet sand, with a pin attached to the bottom of the weight, which draws a line in the sand as it swings back and forth, drawing little elliptical circles, and drawing a complete circle around the sandpit in a little over 32 hours' time. The idea is that the pendulum is swinging in a straight line in a single plane back and forth, seemingly in perpetual motion. But as the Earth rotates, the pendulum appears to deviate from that plane every time it swings, appearing to swing in a circle when it is in fact stationary in the plane, and it is the Earth that moves underneath the pendulum, rotating slowly around in a circle, the line drawn by the pendulum in the sand revealing the Earth's rotation. There are Foucault pendulums on display now in a bunch of museums around the world. Years ago, I was filming a movie in the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. We were filming in the main rotunda over the course of 2 nights, and at the time there was a Foucault pendulum there, swinging back and forth. It was problematic for us because it made this clicking sound every time it swung. Click, click, click. All night long, for 2 nights, we're filming around this pendulum. Click, click, click. Thinking that clicking sound is going to be impossible to edit around, this rhythmic click of the perpetual motion of the pendulum. The editor was pulling his hair out just thinking about having to edit around that click, click, click. But what can we do about it? It's the rotation of the Earth. At the end of the second night, as we're packing up and getting ready to leave, I got to chatting with one of the park rangers arriving for the morning shift, and we talked about the pendulum, about how it was a bit of a challenge for us to film around. And he says, "Oh, you want me to turn it off?" And I say, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, we usually turn it off every night, but we thought you'd want it on for your movie." I told him it'd probably be best not to mention that to anyone else. Leon Foucault, born on this day in 1819, the creator of the Foucault pendulum, and the bane of the existence of some poor editor in Los Angeles, passes away from an aggressive case of multiple sclerosis in 1868 at the age of 48. There are 104 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. Born on this day in 1924, J.D.Tippit, a member of the 17th Airborne Division in World War II, and afterward a Dallas police officer who works a second job at Austin's barbecue restaurant. He leads an unassuming life until November 22nd, 1963, when he is shot dead at the age of 39 by Lee Harvey Oswald in the immediate aftermath of the Kennedy assassination. So if you're still listening, who knew you could turn it off? Talk to you tomorrow.